Well, our top story this Tuesday evening. After relegating Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav to the gallows, he is set to be executed by Pakistan. The country has provoked again. It's hilarious. They're the global laughing stock, and now they've tried to pull another stunt. A former Pakistan ISI agent is missing, perhaps in Nepal, since April the 6th this year. Well, that's what Islamabad says, and that's what they want you to believe. And Pakistan claims that India has apprehended this Pakistani spy or abducted him. An FIR filed by the ISI agent's son claims that the former army officer had gone to Nepal on the pretext of a job at a British company, but later the company was traced to India. As Pakistan cries foul, a bitter tit-for-tat abduction game has exploded. Take a look. It's the big Indo-Pak spy thriller, the run-up to a fresh Indo-Pak face-off. Former Pakistan Army officer, Lt Col retired Habib Mohammad Zahir, goes missing from Nepal. A confirmation from the Pakistan Foreign Office, and Zahir's son, Saad Habib, files an FIR. And then comes the big Pakistani provocation. India today has accessed an explosive FIR copy. A close look at the copy shows Pakistan blames India for an alleged abduction of the ISI officer. But first, the intriguing trail of the Pakistani spy. On the 5th of April 2017, a job lure leads Zahir from Lahore to Kathmandu via Muscat. On the 5th of April, the same day, Zahir meets a certain Javed Ansari in Muscat airport, who hands him a Nepal contact. The next day, April the 6th, Zahir arrives in Kathmandu, speaks to his family and drives off by road to Lumbini. Now missing since April the 6th, Lt Col Zahir's family alleges that he had received a job offer from a UK-based company. Now Pakistan claims that StratSolutions.biz is hosted in India with the name of Big Rock.
After he retired from the Pakistan Army, he's an ex-artillery officer who'd also worked with Pakistan's ISI. After retirement, he was working in a Pakistan Army floor mill. After that, he put his resume on the LinkedIn website and on the United Nations website. There he was contacted, and India Today has accessed the FIR, which says that he was contacted by a Mark Thomas, and the number is 0044, and it then goes on to give the details of the telephone number. And he was given a job offer of $8,500 per month for strategic solutions for firms and companies.
As a rattled Pakistan now offers India conditional consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav, and an intense abduction for abduction game explodes, the big question remains: has Pakistan abducted its own officer, and is it simply now playing victim? Bureau Report, India Today. And we've already got some breaking news. If the provocation by Pakistan accusing India of abducting its ISI officer in Nepal wasn't enough, Pakistan's High Commissioner in Delhi, Abdul Basit, has said that a terrorist should meet his fate for whatever he did. That is Pakistan pretty much calling Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav a terrorist. India had summoned Abdul Basit to protest over the awarding of the death penalty to India's Kulbhushan Jadhav. And now, Abdul Basit, the High Commissioner of Pakistan to India, has taken it up a notch by saying a terrorist must meet his fate. Executive Editor Gaurav Sawant with me live. Gaurav, provocation after provocation by Pakistan. You know, where is this going to end? What is the strategy as far as India is concerned?
As far as India is concerned, Shiv, India is making it very clear, not just to Pakistan, but to the entire world, that due process of law was not followed and Kulbhushan Jadhav has not got a fair trial in Pakistan. Now, let's take this case fact by fact, minute by minute. He was abducted in Iran. Iran and India, there are two countries who are saying that an Indian national was abducted from Iran and taken into Pakistan. Two, He was taken to a military court. India from March 2016 to March 2017 sought consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav 13 times. 13 times
Yes.
Pakistan denied India consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav. In fact, Pakistan added a caveat saying, except he is a spy, we'll give you conditional access to him. India said, let us at least meet him, speak to him, and then we'll tell you more about the case. Pakistan did not do that. A military court sentenced him to death with no charge sheet. Who was the defending officer? What is the evidence? Was he a spy or a terrorist? If he was a terrorist, what is the evidence against him? What was the terror attack he was linked to? What was the evidence that was gathered? None of it is out in public domain, and he's been sentenced to death. It's been a farcical trial, as Sushma Swaraj said.
Well, you know, this would be hilarious if it wasn't so disturbing, Gaurav. The fact that the Nawaz Sharif government, already a laughing stock for the farcical nature of its governance in Pakistan, didn't even know about the legal proceedings against Kulbhushan Jadhav. That is how ridiculous this entire situation is. But if we've got provocators sitting in Pakistan wagging a finger at India, take a look at how many within the country itself are trying to betray us on this particular issue. We've got more breaking news coming in. This time, National Conference leader Mustafa Kamal has stepped up to offer his own provocation on this entire issue. Well, if India is already not battling a big diplomatic issue and fight with Pakistan, Mustafa Kamal of the National Conference in Jammu and Kashmir has now stepped forward to say India cannot dictate what happens in Pakistan. Pakistan is following judicial procedure. It is wrong for India to point fingers. So there you have it, a strict pro-Pakistan voice in the form of Farooq Abdullah's own cousin brother Mustafa Kamal saying Pakistan is right and India has no right to interfere. We have a live face-off with guests in just a moment from now here on 5 Live. But to remind you of just where this story currently stands, after Kulbhushan Jadhav was sentenced to death yesterday, Pakistan is in the spotlight and it has been facing huge protests here in India. Jadhav's premeditated murder rocked Parliament today with Netas uniting in a rare show of solidarity. This even as protests erupted outside the Pakistan High Commission right here in Delhi. Take a look.
While protests erupt outside Pakistan High Commission in Delhi, angry protesters demand immediate action to bring Jadhav back.
Shahzad Poonawalla along with his supporters protesting here, and now finally these protesters are being detained. All the protesters are being taken away from Pakistan High Commission to the local police station.
But Pakistan is unrelenting, playing dumb on its spy sham while underlaying a veiled threat.
Pakistan's armed forces are fully capable and prepared to respond to any spectrum of threat.
As politics brews in the national capital, Jadhav's family has been forced to go into hiding.
The entire family, Kulbhushan's father, mother, wife, one daughter and one son, is staying in this particular building on the 5th floor. 502 is a flat number and B wing. But today, the family is missing. The family has gone to unknown location just to stay away from media and press glare.
As Pakistan begins a dangerous spy abduction game, daring India again and again, Jadhav's death penalty becomes a crucial reminder of Sarabjit Singh, a Pakistan-sponsored murder that India has not forgiven. With Viren in Mumbai, Asutosh in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me quickly recap that for you. This basically means not only has Pakistan abducted an Indian national and labelled him as a spy and sentenced him to death, they're now trying to play victim and play a game of tit-for-tat abductions by accusing India of abducting an ISI agent from Nepal and saying India has done something that they've been accused of themselves. Joining us live this evening on 5 Live from Pakistan, we have retired from the Pakistan Army, Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed, former Indian Army Northern Commander General B.S. Jaswal, Jaydev Ranade, formerly of India's External Intelligence Agency, the Research and Analysis Wing, and our Executive Editor, Gaurav Sawant, who's been tracking the story very, very closely and speaking to his sources in the establishment. Colonel Saeed, first to you. Do you honestly, sir, believe this is going to end well for Pakistan? The general perception is this is a legal proceeding well beyond the purview of the civilian administration, which appears to be clueless that anything like this has even happened. Do you really believe Pakistan is going to get away with sentencing this Indian national to death and at the same time try and play a spy game by putting the ball in India's court and playing victim over an ISI agent in Nepal? Colonel Saeed.
Well, there was not a question in your utterance, but what I gained from your saying is that you want me to comment on whether it will go well for Pakistan or not. I would say that whatever Pakistan will do, it is test of Pakistan's resolve in its fight against terrorism, and Pakistan must come out of it successful and tall. And I feel that such punishments are must. And the child.
Colonel Saeed, why does the Nawaz Sharif government have no clue about the proceedings that have led to this man being sentenced to death? What's going on in Pakistan? Does anybody know what the other side is doing?
It was a field general court martial. It was not court martial. It was field general court martial.
So why does the civilian government have no say in the matter or any knowledge about what's going on? Is that normal in Pakistan?
General court martial. When a field general court martial is convened, the defense minister is in knowledge of all field general court martials.
Can you please tell me why the Nawaz Sharif government is claiming not to have any knowledge about the legal proceedings, sir?
And
Simple
this
question.
Yadav was not an ordinary man. You know, how come the government was not involved? Government was involved in this. And we don't have a media, irresponsible media, which should be hyping the things out of context. It is so simple. A spy was caught, he has confessed, and he has been meted justice. So simple.
Okay. So I'm not going to comment on your comments on the media because that's just a little juvenile. But I want to bring in Jaydev Ranade, formerly of the Research and Analysis Wing. Mr. Ranade, what is your reading of the current situation, sir, as far as what the Indian government has called an act of premeditated murder if Pakistan goes ahead and executes Kulbhushan Jadhav, and on the other hand, trying to play victim and accusing India of playing a tit-for-tat game in Nepal, sir?
Well, let's just look at the sequence of events, and I heard your other panelist, his comments too. But initially, as far as Jadhav is concerned, he was kidnapped from Iran, brought to Pakistan, subjected to torture. A confession was extracted within a few days, in fact, under a week.
Yes.
And then a confession, that kind of confession is thrown out of courts normally. And on the basis of that, he has been sentenced to death. Now, no consular access, he had no chance to present his point of view, except a confession that was forced out of him.
Exactly.
That is entirely a travesty of not only civilized behavior, but justice. So I think Pakistan is headed down a slippery slope. That's why I wanted to bring it out. What they've done is essentially kidnapped an ordinary, unwitting civilian,
yes,
and brought him across the border and done it. This is the kind of thing that the US and the Soviet Union used to do in the 60s and early 70s, after which they decided to stop this kind of thing. But the Pakistanis are doing it. They're headed down a slippery slope. This is no way of dealing with such a situation.
Yes.
And I think they will get a very strong response from the government here. As far as this other person is concerned, the so-called retired lieutenant colonel,
yes,
he's a Muslim. What is he doing in Lumbini, which is a Buddhist stronghold? So the whole story is pretty odd there. He came there and then he disappeared. It is very convenient.
Very suspicious.
A few kilometers across our border. Did he disappear? Has he come here for something else? That's the question.
General Jaswal, how is this going to end for Pakistan? India has basically said Pakistan dare not go down this path. Jaydev Ranade said it's a very slippery slope as far as Pakistan. But as Colonel Saeed says, Pakistan has the resolve to see this through. The statement appears to be, and as Gaurav and I have been reporting from Pakistani voices right through the day, they might actually go through with this. Is India in a position to respond strongly enough in this situation, sir? General Jaswal?
Yeah, absolutely. But first I would like to say, the statement of facts have been brought about in total terms. But the bigger question is why this was orchestrated. Why it was orchestrated? Because Pakistan wants to tell the whole world that India is involved in Balochistan.
Right.
And that's the reason they kidnapped this guy. And he's supposed to be a spy, carrying his passport, Indian passport.
Amazing, yes.
Will any spy carry that? So the larger issue is that they wanted to show to the world that India's involvement in Balochistan is there.
Yeah.
Now, as far as India's response is concerned, of course, the Nepal thing, total fiction. Pakistan is paranoid about our research and analysis wing, and that's the reason is the easiest thing to hatch a story of that nature. But Pakistan has also violated international conventions.
They have.
So the
Very
focus
good point.
of India
Yes.
has to be for diplomatic isolation and diplomatic pressure from the world over.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point of having the Vienna Convention or the Geneva Convention. You can just take anyone, try out by kangaroo court and just kill the person.
Absolutely.
In any case.
In fact, I want to bring Gaurav in on that. Gaurav, what are the other big red flags in this particular case? Kulbhushan Jadhav was carrying his passport. He was abducted by Pakistani agents in Iran. Does Pakistan really believe, Gaurav, spy games have been played in the past as well. Pakistan has accused all and sundry of being Indian spies in the past. What are they really hoping to achieve? General Jaswal says the Balochistan issue as well. What is India's assessment of how this is going to play out for Pakistan? Is India willing to follow through? What is the big question for Pakistan?
Oh, absolutely. India will follow it through to its logical conclusion, and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh made it very clear. All that needs to be done will be done to bring him back home alive. So that is the attempt, that is the effort. But keep one thing in mind, Pakistan is one crazy country that's hanged its own prime minister and a military court did that. So Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was hanged in Pakistan. That's point one that needs to be kept in mind. In any civilized democracy, an accused is given a right to defend himself. Consular access is given to the country to get access to the victim in prison to present his legal defense. None of this was done in the case of Kulbhushan Jadhav.
Yes.
And he's been sentenced to death. So, very desperate Pakistan in its bravado may just carry this through, but then there are consequences that Pakistan will have to be prepared for, and those consequences are not just restricted to some steps India may take. Remember, what this is also doing is putting international focus on Balochistan, which is Pakistan's Achilles heel. They've lost Bangladesh in the past in 1971. There will now be tremendous international scrutiny on Pakistan Army's atrocities in Balochistan.
Colonel Saeed, that's what this is about. Your Achilles heel, Balochistan, that's what Pakistan is jumping around about. You're scared about the spotlight on Balochistan. You're scared about a repeat of 1971 or something even close to it. And that's why all these nervous gestures by Islamabad, these quick legal proceedings, torture, getting an Indian national abducted, getting him to confess something on video and pretending like he's actually an Indian spy. It's all about Balochistan. That's what has scared you so much.
Jumping and creating hype and getting nervous, I think this is on your side of the border.
It appears that's what Pakistan is doing.
And normal, and we will very politely and normal in staying cool and normal. I think the government of Pakistan would go about the things as it is required. And as far as Balochistan is concerned, whatever you please say that, whatever pleases you say that, keep bluffing your people. But as far as the people of Balochistan are concerned, there are over 200 Western NGOs, and about 150 to 160 Middle Eastern NGOs working in Balochistan. And there are
Gaurav, you had a question for Colonel Saeed.
Great
Gaurav?
Britain, France joining CPAC.
Yes.
So whatever hype you are creating about Pakistani atrocities in Balochistan,
Colonel Saeed,
it is
Pakistan
nonsense.
at this
It
point
is-
of time has two major Achilles heel. One is Balochistan,
Yes.
the other is Gilgit and Baltistan. You're under tremendous pressure, sir. You don't know how to deal with the situation. You are now trying to push the envelope, and this will boomerang, as General Jaswal, who's commanded Army's Northern Command, will tell you. If you declare Gilgit and Baltistan as your 5th province, you've lost whatever so-called moral claim you may have had on Jammu and Kashmir. You lose it completely. But China wants you to declare Gilgit and Baltistan as its 5th province. You dare not do that. Second is
What dare not?
Balochistan,
He will be
where
hanged.
you've
What
been,
dare not?
where you've
He
been.
will be hanged, so simple. He will be hanged, don't bother.
Or just try it. Just
What
try
dare? What
it.
dare?
Just
What
try
do you mean by
it. Just
what
try it,
dare
and there'll
not?
be consequences for your
Pakistan is a
country
sovereign
that will
country,
be
has been
that
tried,
are
he has a
unaffordable
right
for
to
Pakistan.
go to the
Completely
military
unaffordable
tribunal
for
and appeal,
Pakistan.
and after
This is
that, his
typical
appeal would be,
bluster that comes
he
from
can
a
appeal to the
tactical
President of
Lieutenant Colonel
Pakistan,
level
that's all.
officer who does not think strategy. Parvez Musharraf used to think that. You are thinking that. Just get General Jaswal
Yes.
to explain this to you, why you dare not do that.
General Jaswal, you know, speaking realistically right now, you know, Pakistan has thrown down the gauntlet. This is a provocative gesture by any stretch of imagination, saying we are going to hang him. Colonel Saeed today on 5 Live says, don't worry, we are definitely going to execute him. It is a possibility that we must, prepare for. What is it? What is the message that India needs to send out right now to Pakistan, as Gaurav said, to make sure that they understand what the consequences will be of doing something like that? General Jaswal.
I think our foreign minister summed it up beautifully well. All elements of our power will be utilized to secure the release of Jadhav. I think that speaks volumes.
Yes.
So that one line of hers speaks volumes. They're all these elements can be diplomatic. Well, it could be otherwise too, if in case, because he's Bharat Putra.
Yeah.
So any individual of this country, it cannot be harmed by anyone else from another country.
Jaidev Ranade, as an ex-member of the Research and Analysis Wing, and since, you know, Pakistan is now pointing a finger directly at your former organization, what is the question that you would put to persons like Colonel Saeed, Jaidev Ranade, at this point of time? They've got a finger directly pointing at India, saying, we've done our job, we've found an Indian spy and terrorist, we're going to hang him. What is the direct question you would put to Pakistan, sir?
So simple. He will be hanged.
Well, the first thing is that Iran itself has described it as an abduction.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Iran has not.
Well, I mean, this panelist of yours seems to have only one word vocabulary. But Iran itself has said he's been abducted. We have said it's been abducted. As far as Pakistan is concerned, they've not let anyone speak.
No access. Yes.
Well, that's what you say. The facts differ. You've not given him a chance to speak. You've not let anyone meet him. You've not let our consular officials meet him. This is against all convention. And I'm surprised. The second thing, let me just tell you. Let me just tell you that as far as India is concerned, our foreign minister's statement is something you need to take very seriously. You know the consequences that have happened in the past, and you know that you are very vulnerable. And let me tell you, your economic situation is so bad at the moment, and you're selling yourself out to the Chinese. You're in an even weaker position. And I personally think that India will react very strongly, and we should start by just severing Pakistan.
Gaurav, is Pakistan, is Pakistan, you know, I think we have established today, not just through Colonel Saeed, but, you know, from all the reactions that have come out, that Pakistan is nervous, it's on the back foot. There is a possibility that they think they may have bitten off a little more than they can chew, and they can't really go back on it because it's also a prestige issue now that they've, over-committed themselves on this particular issue and sentenced Kulbhushan Jadhav to death. But in a graduated, calibrated fashion, what is India's next step going to essentially be? Because the tone and tenor of the foreign minister's statement is unmistakable, Gaurav. And for India as well, we can't back down from what we've said.
No, India will not back down. You see, India in the past 2.5 years, you've noticed India has done everything India can to improve relations with Pakistan.
Yes.
But each time India has been stabbed in the back, whether it was, Uri terror attack or Pathankot terror attack after Lahore, Prime Minister Narendra Modi invested a lot of personal capital going into Lahore and we were stabbed in the back. So now there are no more free lunches as far as Pakistan is concerned. There was a surgical strike. There will be other measures that will be taken, but that is subsequently. Right now, India will wait for what legal papers Pakistan puts out in public domain, if at all. In case Pakistan claims this goes to Pakistan's Supreme Court, then Pakistan will have to give out evidence in its Supreme Court. What are the charges against Kulbhushan Jadhav and what is the corroborating evidence against him? Because it cannot just be charges and his own confession, which is inadmissible as evidence in a court of law. Of course, unless it's in a terror-related case in India. Now the matter remains, what evidence is Pakistan able to produce? Now, if Pakistan is not able to produce that evidence, we'll have to see what Pakistan Supreme Court does. If Pakistan Supreme Court also does not do anything about this, then there are multiple measures in a very systematic manner, in a calibrated manner that India will take.
Yes.
And the question remains whether Pakistan wants to go down that road, which will be very, very destructive for Pakistan.
I've got some hilarious breaking news coming out of Pakistan for our viewers right now. This is Pakistan. Colonel Saeed had just said that this was a military court-martial for a very special captive. Well, after that secret trial in that military court, here's a ridiculous bit of eyewash from Islamabad. Pakistan's defense minister, so-called defense minister Khwaja Asif, has said that Kulbhushan Jadhav has the right to appeal against his sentence within 60 working days. Well, the statement from the Pakistan government, which actually claimed it had no clue about this sentencing, comes after Khwaja Asif claimed that Pakistan will not spare Jadhav's life and his hanging will come as a warning for India. So, Colonel Saeed, a little bit of a flip-flop there from your establishment. First you say we're going to hang him, don't worry. Now you say he can appeal the case. What is it? Are you guys scared? Are you backing off a little bit unnerved by the reaction from India?
He has got 3 appeals. He has got 3 chances. One is that he would go to Supreme Court. First of all, he has to go to military tribunal. And if the military tribunal upholds the decision, then he can appeal against it in the Supreme Court of Pakistan. And if the Supreme Court turns it down,
but you just said you're going to hang him.
Appeal to the President of Pakistan.
You just said you're going to hang him. No matter what. You never said anything about appeals. It's now that your defense minister has come out to talk about the appeals.
Yes, he will be. If he will be hanged if the sentence is upheld. And I don't know why you are hyping this so simple. It is a straight case.
Nobody's hyping it, sir. This is an Indian citizen. We care about Indian citizens even if you don't care about your own. You wanted to come in right now.
Can I come in?
Yes.
I want to highlight another...
There's 3 appeals.
Mr. Ranade, I'll come to you in a moment. General Jaswal, finish your point, sir.
Yeah, I want to highlight a dichotomy which is there. Their security advisor, Sartaj Aziz, had made a mention that there is no conclusive evidence against Jadhav.
Exactly.
Now, if in case he's made a statement, he would have been in the loop with the army at least because he's a national security advisor.
Yes.
So how come the army has tried him and pinned him and nailed him for spying, where the national security advisor is saying there is no conclusive evidence?
It's insanity, as Gaurav said. Yes.
There are games being played against Jadhav.
The left arm doesn't know what the right arm is doing. You're right, sir. The left arm, that is what we've been establishing through our reports as well. The left arm simply doesn't know what the right hand is doing. As Gaurav has just broken, the defense minister of Pakistan has now come out and made a hilarious statement about the appeals. They've not been talking about that so far. Now suddenly, after the Indian reaction from the foreign minister, they say he can appeal. Jaidev Ranade, you wanted to make a point, sir. Gaurav, coming to you right after that.
Yeah, actually, one point, of course, the general has made, which is what I was going to say. But the second is, the manner in which they've come out with these 3 appeals now indicates that they have kept a leeway for us to talk to them.
Correct.
Now, what they have been using, I think what they wanted to do was to get us to talk to them, expand the scope of the talks, and then, say that relations are now back to where they were.
Correct.
Which India is not going to do. But this is what they are trying to do. In addition to, of course, exposing so-called, what's happening in Balochistan. But I think this is the real nub of it. They want us to start talking to them, and I don't think we should talk to them except on this particular and specific issue.
Gaurav, your final point, and also, are we standing at a point where India may, as Jaydev Ranade suggested earlier, cut all ties with Pakistan, completely close all diplomatic relations with that country on this one very emotive issue?
Shiv, 2 points. One, as far as Colonel Shafkat Saeed saying, why is India hyping it up? For Pakistan, Pakistani lives don't matter.
Correct.
In the Kargil war, more than 300 Pakistani soldiers of the Northern Light Infantry were buried by the Indian Army because Parvez Musharraf, the tactical thinking commando, refused to accept bodies of starving Pakistani soldiers who then died and had to be buried by the Indian Army. That's point one. Every Indian life matters for this country, and that is why Kulbhushan Jadhav, India is making every effort to bring him back alive. That is point one. Point two, India will not cut diplomatic ties with Pakistan. India will continue to engage with Pakistan, from what sources tell me.
Yes.
Because that's the only way you can keep the channels of communication open to bring Kulbhushan Jadhav back. What India has done as step one is stalled the release of some Pakistani prisoners in Indian jail. They will now be sent back only when Kulbhushan Jadhav is returned or there's forward movement. But Shiv, what is extremely crucial, what a cussed Pakistani will never realize is that yesterday Pakistanis were seeking Indian help when Pakistani Coast Guard personnel were drowning in the Arabian Sea.
Yes,
India
absolutely.
rescued 2 of them. Indian Coast Guard rescued 2 of them and retrieved the bodies of 4 others. So India continues to help out Pakistan when Pakistan continues to behave in this manner, where 4 Pakistani terrorists were also killed in the Keren sector trying to infiltrate into Jammu
that's a
and
constructive
Kashmir.
piece of information, Gaurav. The engagement will continue by the Modi government. That appears to be clear. There will be no snapping of diplomatic ties, but a direct message has been sent to Pakistan about the consequences. Has Pakistan simply bitten off more than it can chew on this very emotive issue that India is not hyping? We care about our citizens. Lieutenant Colonel Shafkat Saeed, Gaurav Saban, Jaydev Ranade and General B.S. Jaswal, thank you so much for joining us on 5 Live. We've got a lot of feedback this evening on this high voltage issue from some of our viewers, and we just wanted to get some of those reactions for you. Okay, we'll get those reactions for you in just a moment. We asked some of our viewers to get in on Twitter. I'm sorry about that. We'll try and play those out for you in just a bit. We're taking a very quick break. When we return on the other side, we're getting you a big story from the south. The farmer protests have continued incessantly, and they've now reached another level altogether. Across now to Tamil Nadu, where the rampant raids by income tax officials on high-profile personalities of the ruling party there are continuing unabated after superstar Sarathkumars, the actor who's part of the AIA-DMK, took place a couple of days ago. Now his wife, Sarathkumars' wife, has also been raided. Radhika Sarathkumar's office was raided earlier today. Income tax officials said that Radhan Media Network, owned by actor Radhika Sarathkumar, at Sarathkumar's residence was raided just 3 days ago. Well, Sarathkumar's house 3 days ago, and now the office owned by his wife, Radhika Sarathkumar, has also been raided today. Let's go straight across to India. Today's Pramod Madhav for more. Pramod, Sarathkumar raided, now Radhika raided as well.
Well, that is true, Shiv. It seems like the niche is expanding and IT does not want to leave any stone unturned, and that's the reason they are at Radhan Media Network. And apparently, this is a very famous and well-established media network. Trust me, in Sun TV alone, they have a beautiful serial that is going on for so many years right now. That was a development Radhika Sarathkumar had in Tamil Nadu, though she was not into politics. But after this raid at his house, Sarathkumar's house on 7th, they have come over here as well. We've also come to know that Sarathkumar has arrived at Radha Media right now, and he is also inside there. He has spoken to the media and he has told them that he is giving as much as cooperation he could give to the officials, and also that Sarathkumar's house, IT verification is going on one end and IT raid is happening on the other hand at Radha Media Networks right now. Sarathkumar Sarathkumars also present over there. He is with the officials and he's also giving, he said that he's giving adequate explanation to all the questions being asked over there. But on the other hand, we need to find out like if this IT raids will expand more as well. Because not just Sarathkumar, there were more Wealth Minister Vijay Bhaskar and certain other names were also there. As you know, Geeta Lakshmi as well, she has also appealed with the High Court against this IT raids, asking her to come for questioning as now. So we are expecting this IT raid to expand and probably more heavier names would also come into this list, Shiv.
All right, more heavy names are likely to join the list of those raided in Tamil Nadu by the Income Tax Department. Thanks very much, Pramod, for getting us the latest on that. Now, our spotlight story on the farmer protests. Tamil Nadu farmers who've been protesting in the national capital over the last many days. It began with skulls, then they ate rats and snakes, then they shaved their heads, then they went naked outside the Prime Minister's office yesterday, and today they took it once again to the very next level. Here's how things played out for the Tamil Nadu farmers in VVIP Delhi today. Well, the move from Tamil Nadu farmers came a day after they staged that nude protest in the national capital. The Tamil Nadu farmers have been protesting at Jantar Mantar for 29 days against the lack of government assistance in their fight for a drought relief package for the state. Today, after they were naked in VVIP Delhi on Raisina Hill, like you can see in these pictures. Today, they spread their food out directly on the road and ate it in front of cameras.
After we saw the farmers of Tamil Nadu protest naked in front of the Prime Minister's office yesterday, today we see them perform a ritual called Mansuru in the national capital in Jantar Mantar. Here before me you can see the farmers sit here with rice and sambar spread out in front of them, and they're eating from the road, straight off of the road with no plates. You've also seen here, as you can see, the farmers taking handfuls of rice and putting it in their mouth straight out of the road. All the farmers here, this is a ritual observed, which shows that we don't have anything. This is a prayer to the God for good health, for a long life, and to ensure that everything good happens to them. Today we saw leaders come here to Jantar Mantar. We saw DMK Tiruchi Shiva come here, and he raised the issue in Parliament, saying that the central government and the state government will do the needful. We also have Premlata Vijayakant sitting here with the farmers today. She is Captain Vijayakant's wife of the DMDK. Now this is 29 days of the farmer protest in the national capital, but these farmers remain adamant that until the centre takes notice, until their loans are written off, they will protest here at Jantar Mantar. With camera person Rakesh Kumar, Shalini Lobo in Delhi for India Today.
Well, the way things have been going as far as that protest is concerned, we shudder to think what the farmers will do next to get the government's attention and put the spotlight on the agrarian crisis in Tamil Nadu. Well, staying with Tamil Nadu, in Chennai this time, 2 days after a road dramatically caved in Chennai's Anna Salai or Mount Road, cracks have now appeared on that very road, signalling another possible disaster. While traffic police acted quickly and adequate measures, including diversions, were immediately called for. Remember, only on Sunday, a stretch of road on Anna Salai caved in, trapping a city bus and a Honda City. Passengers, however, managed to escape. This even as the political dispensation continues to lock horns over the political crisis over RK Nagar, while civil amenities and road safety have clearly taken a major hit in the city of Chennai. Well, two of the big southern metros are fighting a similar battle, that of a severe drought. Farmers in Tamil Nadu and citizens in Telangana and Karnataka. Civic authorities in both Bengaluru and Hyderabad have issued strict warnings that they could be forced to ration water very soon if consumption is not immediately controlled. In Karnataka's reservoirs, they're touching a new low on water levels even before the full onset of summer. Well, the state government claims it has enough drinking water to last till the 15th of June only, and has asked Bengalurians to conserve water if a crisis is to be averted before the monsoons. There are, however, indications that civic agencies could soon take a decision on rationing water to citizens. Additionally, farmers have been asked to stop using bore wells with the state government saying there is no water for agricultural purposes. Well, meanwhile, in neighboring Telangana, there is an acute water shortage there as well in villages and towns of Mehboob just 100 kilometers south of Hyderabad. There seems to be no contingency plan in place, with residents forced to walk miles for their daily supplies. It's a water crisis in Karnataka as well as Telangana. Thanks for watching 5 Live. That's it on the show today. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.